on YouTube called, I mean, it's a segment from a lengthier segment called Homosexuality and Islam, a Diverse Perspective. Now, or a diverse history, I think it's called something like that. Now, in there I speak about how there were several scholars from Islamic history who believed homosexuality was not haram. Now, amongst them, Qadi Yahya ibn Aktham, who used the Quran to justify that it wasn't haram. And there were other scholars and people, and I mentioned stories of people who were open about their homosexuality, like Abu Bakr ibn Dawood, the great muhaddith, master of hadith. I spoke about Ibn Hazm in his book of At-Tawq al-Hamama, where he writes about several, illustriously writes, may I add, in great detail. He writes about all kinds of things going on, but many of the escapades that were going on in his time, that people were getting up to the nutty ones, and many of them, or about half of them, homosexual. And he'll be writing about it, and he says, oh yeah, and this fulan person and this fulan person, and he seems to be very kind of just laid back about it. He doesn't seem to be like, he's just saying it. And he begins the book by saying, I'm over 40 years of age when I'm writing this book, so don't think I wrote this out of some kind of like childishness, okay, that I'm of a mature age when authoring this. And there is an English translation of it. You should read it. It's called, in Arabic, Tawq al-Hamama. I think in English they might have called it Ring of the Dove, or yeah, I think something like that, Ring of the Dove or something like that. But you get this, and you get other great scholars, and they're openly promoting they openly boast about their homosexual poetry. Now tell me, what is that about then? You know, why does Qadi Abu Bakr ibn Arabi and all these other great scholars, they'll openly, including Ibn Hazm and all these people, they'll openly boast about like homosexual poetry, and these were the people. So either these people are all deviants, and if they are, then there goes our tradition, because they're the authors. They wrote everything, right? Because look at Imam Nawawi. Imam Nawawi writes in his Fatawa book, I've got it right here, I've actually shown it. He writes how he finds his personal opinion. He says it is unquestioned. He treats it like a fact. He says fact. Right, that's a fact. He says that teenage boys are much more beautiful than any woman on earth. This is what he writes. He says this is a known fact. I've got to do that kind of Trump. And he's treating it like a fact. And this is like where you're thinking, huh? What kind of women did he have around him? Did he have women like with these big scruffy beards? Cavemen women. Yeah. Some of the Neanderthal tribes had still survived on to Imam Nawawi's time. And hence Imam Nawawi never got married. You know, it's like... And he writes this in his fatwa. Go to his fatwa book about the Amrad, the boy, the kind of boy in his mid-teens or late teens, that kind of, who hasn't fully developed a full beard and stuff like that. And he says that there's no doubt that their Jamal, their beauty, outdoes the beauty of any woman. And you think, well, okay, right, okay, this is getting weird. Imagine you're in his class, and he starts, and you're there because he has a commentary on Sahih Muslim, and you're there for the commentary, and then he starts all of this, and you're like, right, okay, Sheikh, can we focus on the hadith? But my point is, so unquestionable, if he's finding young boys attractive, or like teenage boys, I'm not saying he did something, I'm just saying, but he's openly saying, and he's not being shy about it. He's writing it openly that, yeah, they're more, in fact, they're not only beautiful, he says they're more beautiful than women, any women. And so here he's expressing this kind of bisexuality that he feels is universal. He feels that all men would be like, duh, everybody knows that. That's the kind of, he's writing it with that level of confidence that, you know, every reader is going to be like, duh, of course, you know. But so now, so what is Imam Nawawi then? You know, if he's finding these guys attractive, I mean, so is he a deviant? I mean, are we going to chuck all these people out of the faith now? So my point is that when I expressed that there was a diversity of views, I'm not saying it's you have to accept it. I'm not saying it's my view, but I'm saying these people had all these views. So look, what's the problem? What's the problem? If some people followed some of these views, I'm just saying, why does it bother us? Why does it doesn't have to, like, people feel that my Islam can only be valid so long as I can impose it on the whole of the Muslim Ummah. And then my Islam is good enough for me. Why? Your Islam is for you. You know, like, look, all the madhabs disagree amongst themselves. So look, according to one madhab, like the Hanafi madhab, borderline alcohol is fine, you know, with their nabidh. According to the others, it's haram. According to some madhabs, they've said things like Qarafi and others, some other Malikiya, that look, cannabis is not haram. According to others, it is haram. According to some madhabs, apart from pig, every other animal is halal or permitted to eat, even if it's discouraged, but it's permitted, including carnivorous animals, including predatory animals, including every fish, every amphibian, every bird, that if you wanted to eat it, you could. I'm not saying you have to, but everything is permitted. And that's the Maliki madhab. But yet, so many of those things that they would, like eating crocodile, eating kangaroo, eating eagle, let's say vultures, eagles. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm just saying that it's not haram. Eating tigers or lions or endangered species, we need to curb it in. We need to curb it. Eating wolves, right? So I'm just saying that it's not haram. According to all the other madhabs, it's haram. That look, the madhabs have disagreed in almost everything. From the beginning, what's the big deal? We've never had uniformity. You know, we've never been just all monotonously one. That has never happened. So, where people follow different views, they do. So, look, if some gay people, right, I'm just saying, let's say some gay Muslims said, oh, right, I'm gay, I'm Muslim, and they follow that view, let's say, that there have been some ulama in the past, they've been a minority, they follow that view that they say, look, that this, you know, that this isn't haram or whatever, that's their way. Now, we can disagree with them. We can say, look, okay, according to my understanding, it would be haram, but okay, fine, that's their way. Like, what's the big deal? Why do I... No, I can't have peace until you don't have the same view as me. But you don't have the same view as me in almost 99% of fiqh. Like, we don't agree in hardly anything. I'm Maliki, for God's sake. The Maliki madhab, even amongst themselves, they disagree so much. So, this is my point, that why do we have the urge to impose on others? Islam is for me. Like, if I feel, look, I feel... oh, being a homosexual is haram, let's say. Now, that's me. Fine, if somebody said, look, I follow what Qadi Yahya ibn Aktham said, or these other people, and it wasn't haram. Majority of the Muslim did feel it was haram, but fine. Like, what's the big deal? Do you become homosexual because he said that he follows an opinion that is homosexual? What's going on? Like, what's the big deal? So just let them be. It's not like if they didn't say that, they're going to stop being homosexual. They're still going to be You don't resolve anything. That's my point, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. And you know, the irony is somebody just on there said liar. Huizman said liar. And I sense, I don't know, but my gaydar detects a raw nerve. Naughty. Listen, Hussein, what's his name? Wait there. Hussein? What kind of a name is that? Seaman? Oh, Huizman. Sorry. I thought that's a rather odd name to name your child. Who Seaman? Okay. I thought it's rather cruel. Who Seaman? This one, who Seaman? Not you Seaman? Neighbor Seaman? Which postman Seaman? Which Seaman? Where did this Seaman come from? Well, who's Seaman? I just want to say, look, it's alright. You can come out of the closet. Anyway. Alright, so I just wanted to share some of that. God, honestly, I just don't get the big deal. That I think, look, just live and let live. Believe what you want for yourself. Why impose it on others? Just, you know, if I believe, look, like, think about it. If I feel eating, let's just say, I don't know, if I felt eating crocodile was haram, which I don't, but I'm just saying, Malikis think it's permissible, and somebody said, no, according to me, eating crocodile is halal, fine, it ain't gonna make me run out and eat a crocodile. Like, I'm just saying, just chill. Chill, man, chill. And, you know, I don't get what people are getting upset about. I'm just quoting how the ulama had, you know, that they were probably, in nature at least, bisexual. In nature. I'm not saying that, I don't know whether they practiced gay relationships, but they probably, most of them didn't, but and you know something, in that clip I quote a lot of people, and I'll tell you people, that, you know, some of the things you read about some of these scholars, you think, you know, I'll give you an example. There's a really famous Qari, right, really famous Qari Saab, right. He's one of the key transmitters, and he was a major grammarian as well, a rival of Sibawayh from the time of the Salaf, yeah. Now, his name is Kasai. Now, Kasai is one of the main transmitters as well of one of the qira'at of the Quran as well. Now, they would say about him that he was epic, he was a legend, he was like this, he was like this, and, you know, the guy knew his grammar to the T, and he knew his recitation like clockwork, and he knew this, and it's epic. But then they would say, oh, except he would often, they write in Arabic, غَيْرَ أَنَّهُ كَانَ يُدِيمُ النَّبِيذ وَيَأْتِي الْغِلْمَانِ. That except that he would often be drinking that kind of like alcoholic drink, which he believed was halal, and he would often have kind of gay sex. You think, what? with his servants. He says with his male servants, Ya'til Ghilman. Now, you think, huh? I'm sorry, I missed a whole season. I feel like kind of like lost out here. Like, what the hell? We went from he's epic, he's a legend, you know, his recitation's on point, he's this. Oh yeah, and he used to often drink nabidh and have kind of gay sex with his male slaves. And you think, huh? Like, wait a minute, where did season 4 and season 5 go? How did I end up there? Like, but, I mean, so my point is, people need to seriously tone it down. I'm just quoting the scholars. Don't shoot me. And don't shoot the messenger. You know, the hadith says the messengers are always safe. Okay? Ar-Rusul Amina. That when a messenger brings a message, no attack me, you know, no attack. You know? I messenger only, only. This one only.